This handwritten note from Dwight Eisenhower is an incredible and fascinating piece of little-known military history that I think speaks so strongly to his character and military leadership. Toward the end of the Second World War, Eisenhower was named Supreme Allied Commander in the European Theater, which put him in charge of everything in the European Theater of Operations, including what became the D-Day landings at Normandy. In planning the landings at Normandy, there were a lot of things to take into consideration, including things like weather and tides, and there were actually very few days to make the landing. And in that window in June, June 6th was the last possible day. The weather wasn't looking great, but Eisenhower decided they had to go forward anyways. On July 5th, he paid a surprise visit to some of the troops who would be going in on this landing. And this is where we get the famous picture of him talking to First Lieutenant Wallace Strobel of Company E, 502nd Parachute Infantry Regiment of the 101st Airborne Division. They made small talk, they talked about fishing, and the idea was just to connect with the men that he was sending in on a dangerous mission. That night, outside London, he wrote this note to be read to the press if everything went wrong. Our landings in the Cherbourg Havre area have failed to gain a satisfactory foothold, and I've withdrawn the troops. My decision to attack at this time and place was based upon the best information available. The troops, the air, and the navy did all that bravery and devotion to duty could do. If any blame or fault attaches to the attempt, it is mine alone. And there's two really interesting things to draw more attention to, and that is the two changes that he made. He removes the wording of "the troops have been withdrawn" and says "I have withdrawn the troops." He replaces this particular operation with "my decision to attack." What I think is so interesting is at no point is he blaming political pressure or blaming the weather or blaming anybody else. He is fully taking responsibility for starting this dangerous mission because he knew he had to. I've spent a lot of time reading about Eisenhower because it's almost impossible to talk about technology in the Second World War and the early Cold War without talking about Eisenhower. And I love this note because I think it speaks so highly to his character, both as a military leader and as a president.